I'm a little bit nervous about how loud it's going to be. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I think we're on video 7 or 8 by now, so this one's going to be really exciting. Well, it is for us. Hopefully it's as exciting for you guys. We're fitting a HKS full exhaust system with the JJR front and dump pipe, all from JJR. I'll put a link below, guys, to these products. If you want to have a look at them, jump on the JJR website. They are great guys to deal with. They've helped us out a lot so far with a lot of these mods. So I don't think there's much to say. Let's jump straight into it. This one's going to make a massive difference to the car. It's going to make it sound like a Skyline. It's going to make it sound modified. We're so excited to chuck this on. It's going to be great. Let's jump in.
So we're going to start off by unboxing this exhaust, and we're going to lay it out on the floor and check it out.
To say we're pumped to get this on is an understatement. This stuff looks so good, so good. So we ended up getting the stainless dump pipe and front pipe, which is all bell mouth from JJR. You can see how open and wide that whole bell mouth is. It's all been machined and ground down. It's got the provision obviously for the oxygen sensor, which we'll take out. So you've got your oxygen sensor bung, nice big outlet, which will join up to the HKS exhaust. And that's hip. Dude, that looks so good, doesn't it? It's gonna be so good. All right, let's lay this out on the ground. We'll get it loosely bolted up, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna start pulling the old exhaust off the car, and we'll have them laid out side by side so we can get a really good idea of what we're upgrading and what we're changing, basically. So I guess let's get straight into it. Just have a quick flick through these instructions. Yep. Unfortunately, I don't read Japanese. We're gonna have to wing it. I think we'll be all right. All right, let's get stuck into this car. We've got the exhaust all laid out on the ground, which is looking absolutely sick. Obviously, just in between here we've got a catalytic converter that we've got to bolt, which is why that's on a weird angle at the moment. But it's going to be a little bit tight down here. I reckon we will be okay though. We just got to remove some heat shielding. 9 times out of 10 in my experience, when we undo these little 10 mils down here that are all rusted out and have been through 1,000 heat cycles, they snap off. So hopefully we don't get too many that snap off. But you can see the dump pipe, the factory cast dump pipe. I'll show you the comparison to the new one once we get that old one off as well. And then under here you can see that exhaust drops down. Hopefully the new one is all tucked up just like that one. All right, I'm gonna go around and just spray every single bolt with some CRC. That should loosen up any stuck or rust bolts and hopefully avoid any snappage. Like I said, pretty much everything's going to be stuck down here. I'm going to need to hop under the car and reach up, but we'll get Ollie to start undoing some stuff in a sec. Like I said, going to go around and spray everything first and give it a moment to loosen up.
One eternity later.
Everything's all sprayed. I'm going to get Ollie to undo these 10 mils and take this heat shield off. We've obviously got the oxygen sensor there as well. We'll undo that and get that off, and then we've got some better access to the back of that turbo dump pipe, and I'm really hoping we can almost pull this whole exhaust off all as one. We've got that all undone under there, so I'm just undoing the rubber mounts at the moment, which I've sprayed with CRC, so they all should come undone pretty easily. I don't know if you can see up in there, it's probably pretty dark. Got a rubber mount there and a rubber mount on the other side too. Look at the size comparison just of the rear muffler.
Whoa.
It's going to be a bit of an improvement, isn't it? Let's go see how Ollie's going up the front here. We've got that front and dump pipe. Those bolts are definitely rusted on there. I'll show you some of the condition of those bolts. So I've got everything undone from the front and dump pipe back. Effectively, we could probably hang the back part of the new exhaust, but I want to try and put the front and dump on first just to give us heaps of room if it's a bit fiddly or a bit annoying. But these bolts are far from perfect. All right, so I'll sit these down here. We'll get stuck into helping Ollie. All right, Ollie, excellent, man. So Ollie's got the heat shielding off of that turbo. That does look like someone's attempted to do a little bit of handiwork themselves. We've got a snap bolt there that was already snapped. We had one in here holding the oxygen sensor, and we had two just at the front here, which will one of them was, no, they were both missing at the front actually, so we'll try and replace them as we go back in. We'll probably leave that oxygen sensor in there for now. It's a bit difficult to undo, but we've got, I think, about 6 bolts holding the dump pipe to the back of the turbo, and looking at it, it's probably going to be half and half. It's probably going to be half from down there and half from up here. Alright, while I'm finishing that dump pipe off, I'm going to get Ollie to get this one all ready to bolt on, because this back part can effectively go on already. So I'll just show you how to set these bolts up. You can make all your bolts like this. This is how I do mine. There's probably a million ways to do it, but I put the lock washer on under the head and then a flat washer under that. And we're going to go from the front backwards, just so we don't cover the threads all in crap when we're driving. They can be a bit more shielded. So to get these on right, we want this little lock washer. So this like locks against the head of the bolt, and then we want to chuck a washer on, and then that gives it a good flat seal against there. We're missing the gasket, most important part. Just slot that in there. Make sure that your bolts go through all the holes. You do another one for me, I'll make sure you got it. You can let go of that until you need to put it in. So you want to hold it in the same orientation. Yep, pull that up. Yep. You're going to go through all the holes. Yep, and it should stay a bit more square now as well. And then do that with the other ones while I do this.
Yep. I've got all the bolts and I'm just trying to make them tight now.
Yeah, you don't need to, I'll crank them up.
Okay.
She's out. So have a look at that. This back of this turbo here, you can see our dump pipe on the new one is a big bell mouth, but this one is like flat on the back. So like if you look on the inside, the exhaust comes out, hits that, and has to find its way down into there. Whereas have a look on this new one, how much more open that is. It's got so much more room to flow out. Okay, let's get the oxygen sensor out and into the new one. Oh, it's probably not the best way to do it, but I don't have a spanner here that's the right size, so luckily it comes undone nice and easy. I don't even, normally I'd put some anti-seize on these threads, but they all look pretty good, luckily. So that goes in there. That is ready to go up and in. So I'm just going to make sure I've got my new gasket, I've got all our bolts. Now there's definitely, so these are multi-layer gaskets. I always try and use genuine Nissan gaskets when I can. They're solid layered steel, whereas these ones are sort of, they've got like a I know, they're just a little bit cheaper. I find that these fail a lot more than the genuine Nissan gaskets tend to last for a lot longer. But we'll chuck this in for now. No biggie. If we need to change it down the track, we'll tighten it up as best we can, and we'll see how she goes. But keen as to get this dump pipe on, because then we can pretty much bolt the rest of it on and we're good to go. All right, we need to reuse the catalytic converter, unfortunately. It's going to be our biggest restriction, which is what I was just telling Ollie. But it is full, and we'll leave that full to keep it legal. But we need this on the new exhaust, and then it should be all good, I reckon. We're pretty much going to throw the gaskets that came with the exhaust in between. We're going to chuck the front dump pipe on first. We're going to do all the bolts up loosely on this new exhaust, slide it in once that dump pipe's on, and then we can nip everything up and bolt it all together, and we should be good to go. All right, bit of messing around, but we've got that dump pipe up. The mouth of that dump pipe is so large and wide now and hollowed out that some of the heads of the bolts and the nuts don't quite go on easily. So it's a bit of messing around, real fiddly to get them on. But we're ready to slide this new part of the back exhaust on. We've got a new gasket in there. We had to reuse 2 old bolts, unfortunately, but we're going to put 2 new bolts on the front. And we're going to leave this a little bit loose for now until we've got it all in a rubber mounts. I am going to spray these so they slide into the rubber mounts nice and easy. I can't tell you how keen I am to see the back of the car with this big pipe hanging out. Let's get it on. We've got all the exhaust mounted up and bolted up from the front backwards. So we've got all the hangers in, everything's all mounted up and hanging exactly where it needs to be. The back's all set up as well. The last 4 bolts we've got to do are these ones here. This square flange on the HKS exhaust, which HKS are known for. Over the years, you can always tell a HKS exhaust by their square flange. Most of the other ones are all 2-bolt. So we'll do all these up, and we're pretty much ready to chuck that front heat shield on the turbo. We can give it a start. And lastly, we need to put the heat shield back on. Try and make it as factory as possible. I've nipped up all the dump pipe bolts. I've done all the bolts all the way back. I've got everything aligned in the rubber mounts and hangers. Everything's looking pretty good at the moment. Pretty straightforward to install. Dump pipe bolts are a little bit of a pain in the bum, but that's the sacrifice you make for having a bigger dump pipe, I guess. All right, we're back after a quick lunch break and a quick costume change. That last shirt got absolutely wrecked. Regret wearing a white shirt trying to fix an exhaust. Not ideal. The HKS exhaust is all on. The Just Jap Racing front dump pipes all on. Ollie was a brilliant help trying to get all that stuff off and holding stuff and finger tightening bolts when I needed him to. So it was really helpful having Ollie around. And I think he learnt a little bit about how to put an exhaust on and take an exhaust off. We got the giant standard exhaust here, which I'll probably keep based on the prices of everything at the moment. It's probably not worth throwing out, just in case I ever need one ever again. Might as well put it up in storage at the warehouse and just keep it there in case. Everything's on, so the exhaust, we've got a huge big exhaust tip on the back, the HKS logo on the side there. I don't know if you can quite see that. It doesn't stick out past the rear bar too much, which is good. It actually looks like it looks pretty good size for the back of the car. Underneath the car, that exhaust is tucked up a fair bit. That front and dump pipe is all in there with all the heat shielding back on, all the oxygen sensor plugged back in. It was just that one bolt that was really hard to do up because that front and dump pipe is so wide now. It's the head of the nut just hit the edge. I think we're pretty much at the stage where we can start up the car. Are you keen? Do you want to do the honours? I've plugged the battery back in. It's going to be on cold start, so... Alright, Ollie's going to start her up. I'm a little bit nervous about how loud it's going to be. Sounds pretty deep hum to it. And obviously being stainless exhaust, that note's going to change a lot as it sort of gets coated inside, and as it goes through its heat cycles, it's going to change a little bit. We'll let that get off cold start, and then Ollie and I will take it for a bit of a drive around the block. Good?
Sounds pretty sick.
We've got a ton of handprints and oily, greasy fingerprints all over the exhaust, so it's going to smoke, and we'll try and go through some heat cycles and get rid of all those handprints. It's just starting to smoke now. All right, you ready, man? The idle's getting a little bit nicer as well. Definitely sounds a lot better than before.
Way better.
Sounds 1,000 times better. That's sick. It does. It sounds 100% like a proper Skyline. We've got the flutters, we got the exhaust.
Now we just need the intercooler.
Now we just need the intercooler. That's sick, bro. We'll do a couple of quick flybys. We've got a dead end road here. I'll pop the camera out and we'll do a couple of little drive-bys. You like that? That's sick, man. What do you think, man?
Sounds 1,000 times better.
1,000 times better, man. This HKS exhaust is quite a deep, low, grumbly tone, isn't it? It's yeah, it's definitely bassy.
Yeah.
I don't know if the sedan maybe makes it a little bit of a different sound to a coupe or not. I don't know if they're the same, but definitely a really good exhaust. The quality of the build looks really, really good. The boys at JJR definitely helped us out a bunch. Like I said before, with all these parts, getting them shipped to us fast, giving us some really good prices. They are already really well priced on their website. So for them to do anything more for us, we're really grateful for that. As I said earlier, guys, we'll put the links down in the description for JJR and these products as well that we got. Our next one on our list is going to be that intercooler, the Blitz Return Flow SE intercooler. Stay tuned for that one, guys. Thank you for watching this episode. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.